like 100. Should I do that? Hey everyone, here we are on the road today. So Shawn, Michael, and I are on a little bit of a trip. We're doing a work retreat. Here we are. We just stopped on the side of the road. It's about 110 degrees. We are just outside of Hemet, California, headed out of San Diego to get away and do some serious work. We were at Startup Week a couple of weeks ago. It was the last vlog, and we learned a bunch of stuff actually. And we've had this work retreat planned. It's 3 days. We're getting away. Got a condo, rented on Airbnb. We're just gonna like set up. We've got pretty much like the whole office packed into the back of our car, and we're gonna pack up and focus on some serious work for the next 3 days. One of the things that we took away from Startup Week was the opening session. I actually sat in a session with Jeremiah Gardner, who's an author that you may have heard of. He wrote some pretty cool books. And one of the things that really struck me was he talked about the difference between tasks and outcomes. And I mean, you know me, I've got lots of task lists. I've got huge checklists. I write a checklist probably at the beginning of every week about all the things I need to do this week, and then I start checking it off. And tasks are important. They're really important. You've got to have them. You got to just know where you're going and have a plan and then get things done. But they are very dangerous if they're not associated with outcomes. So that was a thing that we talked about a lot, and we have been talking about a lot over the last 2 weeks, is what are our outcomes? What are the things that we're really trying to drive home right now? And one of those is the Napier jiggers coming out in a couple of months, and we really need to work on a huge marketing and launch strategy for that, as well as for the rest of our products, to increase sales and work on our brand storytelling and that sort of thing. So that's what we're doing. 3 days. We're going to a place that's even hotter than here. I think it's going to be like 120 degrees. So we'll probably just like hole up in the air-conditioned condo, and it'll be really good for our work ethic. We won't want to go outside at all. So we're gonna get back on the road, and we'll see you later. So we did some setup work last night. We worked until about 8 o'clock at night, and then we had to call it quits. We went and took a dip in the pool at the condo and realized it was covered with this layer of ash. One of the things that happened on our way out to Palm Springs is we saw on our drive through Hemet, where we stopped and filmed our little intro, we saw like a little bit of white smoke, which is not uncommon in San Diego or in Southern California to see like a little bit of a fire. But that start of a fire that we saw around noon when we were driving through that area has turned into a huge wildfire. Almost 4,000 acres burned as of midnight last night. And Palm Springs is bordered on one side by this big mountain, and the fire's on the other side of that. So last night we saw just like the smoke coming up and the ash raining down on the pool, and it was very surreal that we came out here to be productive and to get away and to just hole up in our little space, and then there's this major firestorm threatening the mountain and possibly the city. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it's incentive to stay inside in the air conditioning and get a bunch of work done, which is our goal for today. But that's like, it's an interesting thing because you sometimes set aside time to focus on something, and then there are always going to be distractions that are going to come in. And it was really tempting to like go and film the fire today. And it's like, no, that's not why we're here. That's not why we're here. We're here to work on this intensive marketing workshop, which is what we're gonna go back to the condo and do as soon as we finish our coffee. I think we'll actually take the coffee back with us.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go.
It's pretty hot out here right now. The reason we're out here and not in the air-conditioned coffee shop is that every single table in the air-conditioned coffee shop is full. So let's wrap it up. We're gonna go get to work.
Douche.
So this is our master-minded workstation, work office for the getaway. One of the reasons, you might be asking, Rachel, Shawn, why did you decide to go to Palm Springs where it's going to be 120 degrees during the day when you live in San Diego where the high is 80 and you have this nice ocean breeze? And part of that is, number one, we need to get out of the house. So when you have some major work that you have to do, sometimes you need to get away from all of your distractions. Just extract yourself from your environment and tell everyone you're gone. So no one can contact you, you can't do normal work, you're not distracted by house stuff, which is a thing when you have a home office especially. And for us, getting out of town is even one more step removed, because you're not gonna go to the activities that are planned and your friends having a get together, and you just have to say no to those things because you're focused very intensely for a specific purpose. And so the other reason we came to Palm Springs is we were looking at Airbnbs to rent for a couple of days to set up a remote office. And I could not find one place in San Diego that had a table workspace station larger than like a tiny round bistro table. So that's why we chose this place. It has a nice like 3 foot by 6 foot table that we can both set up our workstations on. And the purpose of this work retreat is to focus intensely on some marketing work that we need to do, to implement some of the things that we learned at Startup Week, specifically around marketing and the launch of the Napier Jigger, and as well as data, like data and metrics is something we're really gonna nerd out on over the next 2 days. What are vanity metrics versus what are the valuable metrics? Like what's the data that you need to track to know how you're progressing through in your business? And it's not just number of sales or number of followers, but like getting down into the nitty-gritty about what are your goals, what are your outcomes, what are the things that you're driving towards, and then what's the data that's gonna tell you whether or not you're hitting those marks or making progress in those areas. And that just takes some time to work through sometimes. We're gonna do a workshop on like customer personas and the customer journey and the marketing funnel and then all the different places where our brand is online and how are we communicating a consistent brand story message. And so there's a lot of things we're gonna tackle. We're about to dive into a 4-hour workshop, which we spent some time designing yesterday. So we will see you later.
Hey guys, so I'm here in the parking lot. We're here at an Airbnb just doing our workshop. There have been a few moments where like this really is kind of a surreal experience, because just you can hear the cicadas and the fire behind me is definitely brooding. I think it's gonna look more intense during sunset, so we'll come back out and get some more footage during sunset. But what's really interesting is like we've just got so much levity riding on, I guess it's all the moves we're making right now for our business. It's like, well, sales have to happen, sales have to get better, and we're doing the work to figure out how to make that happen. And it's like there's so much tension pulling you from one task to the next, and from one job you think you should be doing and then something else pulls your attention, and so now you're working on that now, and then you work on this thing again. And that's kind of what our channel is about, really. It's like there's just so many things you have to do to focus on to get right all the time in order to have any kind of efficacy or efficiency or consistent success. It's a really hard thing to nail down, and we don't feel like we've figured it out yet. We're on a journey to figure it out and get better at it, but it's like this, I don't know, as a creative, I feel like this fire is like almost symbolic of how many things are riding on whether or not we get it right.
Every little hole. You know, you can't miss any, or you're gonna have a less than satisfactory butter experience. I think that's pretty good. I don't want to be too OCD about it, but I do like a good melted butter on my waffle. You know what else I like in my waffle? Not this stuff.
That's keeping it real.
Oh yeah. You see this? 100% pure maple syrup. That's what I do. That's the way I roll. I brought this all the way from San Diego because I knew we were going to diner breakfast. And I just can't eat the fake stuff. You know? Sometimes the real deal is just worth it. This is a waffle that is to be enjoyed.
Well, it just goes to show you, you never know what's gonna happen. On our way back from Palm Springs, I had a 10 o'clock appointment I was supposed to make in the salon because I'm a hairdresser when I'm not doing other stuff. But yeah, so we're headed back from Palm Springs, and car starts shaking. Just starts to be kind of rough idle. And then before you know it, like, we're pulled over, calling AAA. Our time window for getting back is completely changed. But we're gonna make it. I had to move one appointment over. Overall, our work retreat was extremely successful. We got so much good work done. We had so many good tasks that we just barreled through. It was really worthwhile. And we're driving back, and the drive was just really nice. We just had a nice breakfast at a diner in Palm Springs on the way out. And then car trouble. It's like, you know, okay, not my favorite thing, but it comes with the territory.
Good luck.
Hey man, thanks for the drive. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
I'll be honest, I don't really have the energy or the desire to go to work right now, but that's kind of too bad. It's kind of too bad. But you know, maybe one of the best ways to get your mind off the fact that things aren't going super well is to serve others. So we'll do that.